Nia stepped into the kitchen and stopped. Across the room, Dominic and Sophia stood near the coffee machine, laughing and talking, completely unaware she was there. For a moment, Nia couldn't move. She wasn't even sure why, but seeing them together felt like a punch to the heart.
You see?
The voice came from behind her. Nia turned. Summer stood in the doorway holding a coffee cup. A small smile rested on her face.
I told you.
Nia said nothing. Summer took a slow sip of coffee, then added,
You're not his type.
The words landed harder than they should have. Nia looked away, back toward Dominic, back toward Sophia, then quietly turned around, leaving the kitchen, leaving the coffee she came for, and wondering if Summer had been right all along. Well, let's go back. It was on a Friday evening. Nia stood in front of her mirror longer than she intended. Not because she didn't know what to wear, because suddenly every dress seemed wrong for a different reason. One felt too formal, another too casual, and a third looked like she had spent far too much time trying to impress someone. Eventually, she chose a navy dress she had worn before. It was simple, elegant, and comfortable. Most importantly, it felt like her. 10 minutes later, her phone lit up. I'm outside. A smile appeared before she could stop it. She grabbed her handbag and headed downstairs. Dominic was standing beside his car when she stepped out of the building. His eyes immediately found her. For a second, he simply looked at her, then smiled. And somehow that made her more nervous than if he had said something.
You look beautiful.
The compliment arrived so naturally she almost forgot to answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He opened the passenger door for her. The drive began easily, and before long they were talking about work, family, ridiculous client requests, and eventually their favorite coffee shops. At some point, Nia mentioned a small coffee shop she loved and confidently declared it made the best coffee in the city. Dominic immediately shook his head.
They don't make the best coffee in the city.
They absolutely do.
They absolutely don't.
And how would you know?
I know good coffee.
That's a very confident statement.
It's also a true statement.
I think we'll have to agree to disagree.
Or you could simply admit I'm right.
By the time they arrived, she hadn't realized 40 minutes had passed. The restaurant overlooked the water. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city skyline. Soft lighting reflected across polished wood floors. A pianist played quietly near the center of the room. Everything felt intentional. As they entered, the hostess smiled immediately.
Good evening, Mr. Sterling.
Good evening, Amelia.
The familiarity didn't escape Nia. Neither did the way several staff members greeted him as they passed. A waiter stopped to shake his hand. Another smiled from across the room. Someone from the kitchen waved. Dominic seemed entirely unaware of the attention. They were seated beside the windows overlooking the water. The view was breathtaking. The city lights shimmered across the harbor. The moment they sat down, Nia looked at him.
You seem very popular here.
Do I?
Everyone seems very happy to see you.
Maybe I'm charming.
That only made Nia laugh. For a while, they talked about everything and nothing, moving easily from favorite books and childhood memories to embarrassing stories from their younger years. At one point, Nia admitted she had once sewn an entire sleeve inside out during fashion school. Dominic laughed so hard he nearly dropped his
You
fork.
submitted it?
I had no choice.
You had several choices.
The deadline was in 3 hours.
I take back every compliment I've ever given your work.
A few minutes later, Dominic's phone vibrated. He glanced at the screen.
I need to take this.
Go.
I'll be right back.
After he left, Nia found herself watching the water through the windows. For the first time in months, she wasn't thinking about deadlines. She was simply enjoying herself. A voice interrupted her thoughts.
I hope everything has been perfect.
It has. The food has been incredible.
I'm relieved to hear that.
I've known Dominic for a long time,
I'm starting to realize that.
long enough to know what matters to him, which is why seeing him bring you here surprised me.
Surprised?
Oh, not in a bad way. It's just that this is the first time he's brought someone here. Dominic owns this restaurant.
For a moment, she simply stared at him. Suddenly, everything made sense. The greetings, the way people seemed genuinely
Enjoy
happy to
your
see
evening.
him. Before she could ask another question, he nodded politely, leaving her alone with a thought she wasn't entirely sure what to do with. A few moments later, Dominic returned, sliding back into his seat. completely unaware of the conversation he'd missed.
Everything okay?
Everything's fine.
He studied her briefly, as though sensing something had changed, then let it go. The rest of the evening passed too quickly. When Dominic finally drove her home, neither seemed eager for the night to end. At the entrance to her building, he handed her a small paper bag.
When did you do this?
Naya looked
You look
inside.
disappointed
The
when you
dessert.
finished yours.
Good night, Dominic.
Good night, Nia.
He waited until she reached the entrance before driving away. Inside the elevator, Nia looked down at the paper bag in her hands, then at her reflection in the mirrored wall. The smile was still there, and for some reason, she found herself thinking about the chef's surprise, the fact that she had been the first woman Dominic had ever brought there. The following morning, Nia was still in her pajamas when her phone rang. She glanced at the screen. Mrs. Sterling.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nia. I hope I'm not interrupting your weekend.
Not at all.
Good. Are you free this morning?
I am.
Excellent. I'd like you to come by the office park.
The office park.
There's something I'd like to show you.
I'll be there.
3 hours later, Nia pulled into the office park, the same office park where Dominic worked. Mrs. Sterling was waiting outside one of the buildings, elegant as always.
Nia. Aris, it's good to see you. You too.
As they entered the elevator, Nia noticed Mrs. Sterling smiling to herself.
What? You'll see.
The kind of smile that suggested she was enjoying a secret. A few moments later, the elevator doors opened. They stepped onto an upper floor. The hallway stretched ahead. Sunlight poured through large windows. A row of office suites lined one side. Mrs. Sterling led her toward the last one, then stopped. She reached into her handbag, pulled out a key, and placed it in Nia's hand.
Open the door. That's not an answer.
Mrs. Sterling looked entirely too pleased with herself. Slowly, Nia unlocked the door. She pushed the door open and stopped. The room was beautiful. Natural light flooded through floor-to-ceiling windows. Work tables stood ready beneath the windows. Fabric shelves lined one wall. A long cutting table occupied the center of the room. A private office sat toward the back. Everything had been designed thoughtfully. For several moments, she simply stood there, unable to speak. Mrs. Sterling remained silent, allowing her to take it in. Finally,
You did this? No. You did. The designs are yours. The vision is yours. The talent is yours.
a knock interrupted the moment. An attorney entered carrying several folders. For the next hour, they reviewed contracts, investment terms, ownership agreements, and every detail needed to make the partnership official. Mrs. Sterling had thought of everything. Every question Nia asked already had an answer. Every concern had already been addressed. By the time the final document arrived, Nia understood exactly what sat in front of her. The attorney slid the final page toward her. Nia picked up the pen, then paused, the weight of the moment settling over her. All the late nights, disappointments, missed opportunities, and closed doors suddenly felt worth it. Every sacrifice she had made to pursue her dream had somehow led her here. Mrs. Sterling watched quietly, waiting. Nia lowered the pen and signed. When she finished, the attorney smiled. Mrs. Sterling looked far more emotional than she intended. The attorney gathered the documents, promised to return copies later, then left, leaving the two women alone. For several moments, neither spoke. Mrs. Sterling eventually walked toward the front entrance. The glass panel beside the door remained empty. She looked at Nia.
What will the sign say? My name. Good.
Then stepped closer and straightened the collar of Nia's jacket.
Promise me something. What? Never hide your name again.
Over the next several weeks, Nia's studio slowly came to life. The shelves filled with fabrics, client meetings became part of her routine, and orders started arriving faster than she expected. The business was growing, and somewhere along the way, Dominic became part of her routine too. One afternoon, Nia looked up from her desk and found him standing in the doorway holding 2 coffees. She laughed.
Do you work here now?
Not officially.
That's concerning.
It should be.
A few days later, he appeared again, this time carrying lunch.
You know, most people call before showing up.
Then it's a good thing I'm not most people.
And somehow, what started as the occasional visit soon became part of her routine. One afternoon, Nia was standing on a small ladder trying to rearrange a display shelf when Dominic walked into the studio. He stopped, looked at the ladder, then looked at her.
No,
No?
no.
It's a ladder.
It's an accident waiting to happen.
I'm fine.
2 minutes later, he was adjusting the shelf himself while she stood safely on the ground offering entirely unhelpful advice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Come on.
Where?
Lunch.
I'm busy.
So am I.
Dominic,
Nope.
I have work to do.
It'll still be there when we get back.
You don't give people much choice, do you?
Not when they're skipping lunch. You coming?
You're impossible.
That's not a no.
Later that afternoon, Summer stood near a conference room window overlooking the courtyard below. Dominic and Nia sat beneath one of the shaded tables, talking and laughing, completely absorbed in their own conversation. Neither appeared aware of the world around them. Summer folded her arms. As she watched them, she couldn't help thinking about how much time Dominic had been spending with Nia since she moved into the office park. Her gaze lingered on them. On the way, Dominic looked at Nia when she laughed. A moment later, Summer reached for her phone and smiled. Sophia. The following morning, Sophia stepped into a boardroom carrying a coffee. She found Summer already seated at the table.
You only call meetings like this when you're planning something. What is this about? A new client? A big one. And? I want you on the project. Done. It gets better. There's more? Dominic is leading it. That's good. It is. There's another reason I chose you. What reason? Dominic has been spending a lot of time with Ania. He practically lives across your world. I don't understand it. Dominic belongs in your world. You understand his life, his responsibilities, the expectations that come with his family. Nia doesn't.
The project began the following week, and before long, Dominic and Sophia were spending most of their days together. The account quickly became one of the company's highest priorities, leading to client meetings, presentations, and long hours that kept them working side by side. At first, Nia barely paid attention. Then she started noticing them. One morning, she arrived at the lobby just as Dominic and Sophia stepped out of a meeting together. Sophia was laughing at something he had said, while Dominic looked as though he hadn't slept nearly enough. Neither noticed her. The sight stayed with her longer than she cared to admit. A few days later, Summer stopped by the studio. She glanced around the space.
It looks busy in here. That's a good problem to have. Everyone seems busy lately. I suppose that's a good sign, especially for Dominic and Sophia. I'm glad the project is going well.
For a moment, Summer simply watched her, as though waiting for something more. When it didn't come, she smiled, then headed for the door and left. The following week, Nia stepped into the kitchen and stopped. Across the room, Dominic and Sophia stood near the coffee machine, laughing and talking, completely unaware she was there. For a moment, Nia couldn't move. She wasn't even sure why, but seeing them together felt like a punch to the heart.
You see?
The voice came from behind her. Nia turned. Summer stood in the doorway holding a coffee cup. A small smile rested on her face.
I told you.
Nia said nothing. Summer took a slow sip of coffee, then added,
You're not his type.
The words landed harder than they should have. Nia looked away, back toward Dominic, back toward Sophia, then quietly turned around, leaving the kitchen, leaving the coffee she came for, and wondering if Summer had been right all along. One evening, Sophia and Dominic were still in a conference room reviewing documents long after everyone else had gone home.
I'm done.
You said that 20 minutes ago.
I meant it 20 minutes ago.
A look of suspicion crossed his face. Sophia followed his gaze through the glass wall. Across the courtyard, the lights were still on in Nia's studio. Nia moved between work tables, completely focused on what she was doing. Sophia looked back at Dominic, and suddenly, everything made sense. The way he noticed Nia, the way his mood changed whenever she was around, the way he looked at her when he thought nobody was paying attention. A laugh escaped her.
You love her. Why don't you tell her?
Because what I feel is not temporary.
The words caught her off guard, and suddenly she understood. Dominic wasn't trying to decide whether he wanted Nia. He already knew. Sophia smiled as she gathered her things. Halfway to the door, she stopped, then looked back at him. She's lucky. Dominic raised an eyebrow. Sophia smiled, then she left.
Tell me good news. What makes you think I have good news? You know. What? You already lost. What are you talking about? I'm talking about Dominic. You never had a chance. It was never me. It was always her.
A week later, Nia received a message from Dominic. I'm sorry I've been absent lately. The project consumed more time than I expected. The good news is that it's finally over. Dinner tonight? A smile appeared before she could stop it. She typed back immediately. Okay, see you tonight. Then she set her phone down and started dancing. That evening, she arrived at the same restaurant where Dominic had taken her on their first date. The hostess greeted her warmly before leading her past the main dining room and toward a private lounge tucked away at the back of the restaurant. When she stepped inside, Dominic was already waiting. The moment he saw her, he stood and smiled. The same smile that always seemed reserved for her.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. So, are you finally free?
I think so.
You think so?
The project ended yesterday. Ask me again next week.
I was starting to think you had forgotten about me.
I know.
I'm joking.
You're being very generous.
Done. Get used to it.
Thank you
For what?
for understanding.
Why?
So I could finally take you to dinner without answering emails every 5 minutes.
The rest of the evening passed effortlessly. They talked about everything they had missed while life kept pulling them in different directions. By the time dessert arrived, it felt as though no time had passed at all. For a while, neither spoke, the comfortable kind of silence, the kind that only exists between two people who genuinely enjoy being together. Then Dominic looked at her, really looked at her. The smile remained. But suddenly he seemed more serious, and something about it made her heart begin to beat faster.
Nia,
What is it?
I've spent the last several months getting to know you. I've watched you build your business. I've watched you work harder than anyone I know. I don't want to spend the next few years figuring out whether you're the woman I want. I already know. I don't want to wonder whether I'll feel the same way 5 years from now. I know I will. I don't want a future that doesn't have you in it. Nia, I want to spend the rest of my life with you.